Hello, and thank you for joining me today to discuss general education policies at XYZ University. I'm Amanda Davis, the Chief Policy Analyst here at the university, and you might be asking yourselves, why are we here? Why is this meeting necessary? So, what is the problem? The problem is threefold. First, there's too much dissatisfaction among students, faculty, and staff regarding the general education policies that are currently in place here at the university. Second, current students are leaving the university in large numbers because they are dissatisfied and they don't feel that they're receiving a quality education that is competitive with their peers at other state universities. And finally, many prospective students are not choosing XYZ University because they don't think that the education is competitive, they don't think that it's rigorous enough, and they feel that they may be served better elsewhere. So as you can see, freshman enrollments are down by 5.6%, and the transfer rate is up to 7.3%. This calls into question institutional effectiveness and what the university is doing wrong and what it can do better to better serve its students going forward. So, data collected from a 2020 student survey revealed that many students are discontent and wish to see some sort of change enacted here at the university. First, you can see that the largest proportion of students that were polled, and this is the entire undergraduate population, most of the students did not respond to the survey, and those that did respond, some were indifferent to the general education requirements. However, this large section here represents the students who wish to see requirements for the general education curriculum increase to match those of other state universities, and here you can see students who wish to see the general education requirements removed altogether. Furthermore, if we disaggregate the data a little bit further, you can see that 60% of the students that wanted to see change enacted at the university wanted to see the requirements expanded, and that's 60% or 2,233 students, while here you can see that 40% of students polled that wanted to see something changed wanted to see the curriculum removed altogether, and that's 40% or 1,489 students. And when we compare XYZ with other universities within the state of Virginia, you can see that there really is no comparison. XYZ is far behind its competitors, and here we have the University of Virginia at Wise, James Madison University, and George Mason University, and here we have XYZ. And at UVA Wise, they require a minimum of 52 credit hours in general education for graduation, and on top of that, they also require a minimum of 8 cultural activities. At George Mason, they have a requirement of 43 general education credit hours, and at JMU, they have a requirement of 41 general education credit hours. Here at XYZ, we require our students to only take 21 credit hours in the general education curriculum. So, clearly, there's a problem and it needs to be addressed. So I've compiled all of the data and I've come out with 3 alternatives that we can use to solve this problem, to mitigate the low enrollment rate as well as the high transfer rate. And those options are to either remove the general education requirements altogether, to increase the requirements to be competitive with other state universities, or to adopt an open curriculum, which can be seen at a few universities around the country, such as Amherst College and Brown University. So let's look at alternative 1, which is to remove the requirements altogether, and that will bring about a negative net value of $72,540,000 a year for the university. The pros of this alternative are that students will save $10,000 in tuition fees, where they won't be they won't be spending that much money on a fourth year of tuition, since they will be graduating in 3 years instead. Students will also be able to focus on their chosen field, as opposed to taking a bunch of classes in different disciplines that don't interest them. And students may then feel that they are not wasting their time and money. Fewer faculty positions will be needed, which will save the university some money, and students will enter the workforce earlier. However, as you can see, there are also a lot of cons associated with this alternative. So XYZ will lose money in foregone tuition costs. And students will be less employable, as employers often see the general education curriculum as teaching very many necessary skills for the workforce, such as strong written communication, strong verbal communication, critical thinking, reasoning, etc. Lowering the amount of faculty will cause poor faculty morale, and taking away the general education curriculum, which is a staple at many universities, especially a liberal arts institution such as XYZ, will cause some lack of credibility in the field, and students will earn less money if they are less employable. So next, under Alternative 2, we can match the requirements of other universities, which would give our students a competitive education where they may feel that they get their money's worth. There will be fewer transfers. Students will be more employable, as employers will value the general education courses that students will be required to take. Students will earn more money as a result of being able to find ready employment after college. And all of these things together will make the university more attractive to incoming freshmen, transfer students, and will bring more new life into the university as a result. The cons associated with this alternative are that some students would still be dissatisfied, the ones that want to only focus on their major and not take classes that are in other disciplines. So some students may still leave the university, which is, I guess, unavoidable. But if we can mitigate that problem altogether, we should look toward that alternative. Again, there will be 20 faculty positions that will be needed, so 20 faculty members will need to be hired with competitive pay, which will cost the university a significant amount of money. This will increase administrative responsibilities. More course offerings will be needed to accommodate the increase in class volume and classes offered by the university, and it will take students longer to graduate. Finally, Alternative 3, which is adopting an open curriculum, will bring about a positive net value of $4,570,000 a year. And it will increase student choice, giving them more of a voice in their education, as they can go through and choose courses that are in other disciplines that are interesting to them, or other classes that will further their degree program and better serve them as preparatory courses for their chosen career paths. There will be fewer transfers out of the university as a result. Increased freshman enrollment. Students are more employable and will earn more money as a result. And this will bolster XYZ's reputation among liberal arts universities. Some cons are that this is a new curricular idea. It is still being pioneered, and only a few institutions have implemented this kind of curriculum at their universities. Some schools that have done this are Amherst College as well as Brown University, and at both of those schools they have seen significant success. 30 faculty members will need to be hired with competitive pay, which again is going to be costly. And parents are hesitant because it is such a new program that it hasn't been tried and worked through before. There will be more course offerings, which is also going to lead to increased administrative requirements. And if it doesn't work, a different approach will need to be selected and implemented, which will not only cost more money, but will cost the university a significant amount of time. So my recommendation, taking all of this into account, is that we should adopt an open curriculum. Doing this will also be in line with a biblical worldview, as adopting an open curriculum will help the university to maintain its integrity by serving the students to the best of its ability and not falling short of the mark like we are currently. If we provide students what we say we are going to provide them with, which is a decent education, we can't miss the mark so significantly because that compromises our integrity. Finally, if we increase the curricular requirements and open the curriculum, this will increase the unity among the staff and faculty and student body, as everyone will then be on the same page. There won't be as much dissatisfaction, discontent, people leaving, people complaining. People will be at one cohesive unit, and that will serve to increase productivity and help the campus culture overall. So in conclusion, an open curriculum will retain the most students. It will give students an increased amount of choice in their education, giving them voice and giving them options, which will increase student satisfaction, and satisfied students are more willing to stay at an institution that they feel really serves their goals, really listens to them, and really gives them what they need. This will bring in new students. It will increase XYZ's credibility among parents, among students, among administrators and faculty. It will bring more faculty to the school that are qualified candidates. This will please employers, as they will see that students are receiving a rigorous and competitive education, and it is comparative with other universities in the state of Virginia. And it will bring in a significant amount of revenue to the school, as more students will come and more students will stay. So there you have it. That's my recommendation in light of the data, and I hope that you find this presentation to be informative. Thank you.